All right, today we're diving into a really cool sermon that's all about trust and about how we learn to recognize the voices that really truly matter in our lives. And you won't believe where it all starts.
Yeah, it all kicks off with this prayer right here. And I mean, come on, who hasn't felt this way at some point? It's hilarious, it's brutally honest, and it's actually the perfect jumping off point for a way deeper conversation about, well, the voices in our heads. So you might be wondering, where on earth did a prayer like this come from? Well, in the sermon we're looking at today, the Reverend actually pulls it from a really memorable scene in a movie. And the scene is it's a brilliant move. You have the pastor up front leading this big public prayer, but the camera starts moving through the crowd, through the students, and we get to hear what they're actually praying about. It's this instant, perfect sketch of who they are just from hearing their private thoughts. And just listen to the range we get. You've got the popular girl who's basically like, God, you know I deserve an awesome year. Then there's the pastor's son, just mortified his dad will embarrass him. And then someone else carrying this really heavy weight about their dad's drinking. Each one is like a little window into a totally different world, a completely unique and personal voice. And right there, that's the sermon's first big idea. In those super quiet, private moments, there's this raw honesty that comes out. It's the voice we use when it's just us, the one we use with ourselves or with God. And that voice, it shows who we really are. So, this idea of having a distinct, personal voice, it leads us straight into the sermon's main metaphor, which is all about the shepherd.
Okay, so this whole sermon was given on what's called Good Shepherd Sunday. And the big idea here isn't some kind of magical connection. It's about something much more grounded. That deep, deep intimacy you get in a relationship where one person's voice just cuts through all the noise. It becomes unmistakable.
To really bring this idea to life, the sermon shares this fantastic story about a young woman named Brenda. She raises this lamb for a 4-H project, and this little lamb just gets so tuned into her voice that it follows her everywhere. So they get to this big livestock show, and she doesn't even use a lead rope. The lamb just follows her voice. But of course, everyone else who doesn't get it, they just see a loose sheep and start freaking out.
And that's the whole point, right? The lamb wasn't lost at all. It knew exactly whose voice to follow. And this just perfectly shows that real connection isn't about control or force. It's about recognition. It's about knowing a voice so well that you trust it completely. Okay, so this idea of recognition, it flows right into this huge theme of trust, especially when things get tough.
I'm sure we've all heard this line before, from Psalm 23. It's this incredible statement of courage, even when you're facing something terrifying. But the sermon doesn't just let us read it, it forces us to ask a really important question about it.
Seriously, why? Why would someone feel no fear in a place called the Valley of the Shadow of Death? I mean, what could possibly give you that kind of security, that kind of peace?
And the answer the sermon gives, it's so simple but so powerful. It's because I know the voice. See, the fear isn't gone because of some blind leap of faith. It's gone because of familiarity. It's the comfort of hearing that one voice you know, that one voice you trust, leading you right through the darkness.
So this whole idea of protective trust gets even deeper with another metaphor. When we hear a phrase like, I am the gate, our modern brains probably picture, a wooden gate with a latch. But in the ancient world, the image was something else entirely, way more personal.
The shepherd literally was the gate. At night, they would lay their own body across the only opening to the sheep pen. Think about that. Nothing could get to the sheep, and no sheep could wander off without having to go through the shepherd first. It's just this incredible picture of total protection, vulnerability, and absolute commitment.
Okay, this all sounds really beautiful, right? But it leads to the big practical question, the so what of the whole sermon. How do you actually learn to recognize a voice like that? How does it happen?
I mean, that's really the core of it, isn't it? Is it some special talent you have to have? Are some people just born with it? Turns out the sermon's answer is surprisingly and refreshingly simple.
Just one word, exposure. That's it. It's not magic. It's not a secret formula. It's just practice. It's about putting in the time, about listening, and just letting that voice become part of your world. And the sermon wraps us all up with a really beautiful universal idea. Think about how a baby learns its parent's voice. It's because they hear that voice every single night, singing the same gentle lullaby. It's that simple, consistent repetition that forges that incredible, unbreakable bond.
And that's really the core message here.
Learning to recognize the voices you trust, whether we're talking about a friend, a partner, or even God, it doesn't just happen by accident. It's the result of a decision. The decision to just put in the time, to be present, to listen.
So the sermon really leaves us with a question for our own lives. Who are those people for you? Whose voices do you know without even thinking about it? The ones you trust to lead you through the dark. And maybe more importantly, what does it take to build that kind of simple, powerful trust with someone?